Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to us. I'm a street performer in Balboa Park in Seaport Village, but I haven't done it very often lately because there's been a lot of, I feel like, overstepping of boundaries by the park rangers. And I'm kind of frustrated, and I don't know what else to do or how to get my voice heard. So that's why I'm here. But at Todd Gloria's State of Balboa Park presentation, he said he loves art and culture, and he had a singer, a jazz band, and a poet in his presentation, and he even had a guitarist playing a guitar in his slideshow. But if you sing, recite poetry, or play music in Balboa Park, you will get a ticket and you'll get asked to leave. So I'm confused why Todd Gloria is having musicians in his slideshow and promoting that, but also at the same time kicking us out and giving us tickets. So I don't really know what else to do, except I'm going to be here. I'm going to do my best to be here every Tuesday because I'm kind of frustrated, and because it's to the point where it's affecting my livelihood and my mental health and other people too, because I don't think it's right, and it's kind of making Balboa Park look terrible. Makes it look really bad because the Rangers are going around kicking out artists who are making people's days better for no cost to you guys, while they're ignoring the homeless camps that are in the alleyways, just skipping right past them, go over to the face painter, give them a hard time, making kids cry. It's a terrible look, and I'm frustrated and fed up. So I'm here, and I don't know what else to do. So I love Balboa Park art and culture. That's what Todd Gloria said he does too, but he's kicking us out and giving us tickets. So that's why I'm here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have William Dorsett.
Good afternoon. Some of you guys probably remember me. I've been here at least once now on this subject. On Sunday, three park rangers approached a busker who was making bubbles in front of children. Giant bubbles. Doesn't harm anyone, made of soap and water. He says he uses organic soap. They gave him a citation for dangerous chemicals. Same ranger, while I'm speaking my First Amendment rights into my camera, talking to some tourists, one from Ireland, and engaging in a conversation with the person he's citing, who spoke to me first, just responding back. And I said, these rangers are bullies, and I was cited for disorderly conduct for speaking that language. As if it was vulgar, or if it was capricious, or any of those things. I was speaking my First Amendment rights, and I was cited for bad conduct. Not sure what this citation is, but if you look at the language, it doesn't say anything that I was doing was wrong. Even the police showed up and said that I was well within my First Amendment rights. The ranger in charge of this was Ranger Z Othniel. He is a bad problem in the park. Several other rangers are just as bad. They have admitted that y'all are talking about regulations. I've talked to Stephen Hill at the mayor's office, who has admitted y'all are talking about regulations, but there are no regulations in place, and yet they're acting upon things that are not regulated. They're stepping over multiple First Amendment rights. They're harming us. They're harming the public. They're harming the park with their actions and attitudes. They spray painted numbers all over the park. Did you guys authorize that? What can we do to get a special meeting going to discuss these issues and fix them before they become a major problem in this city?
Thank you for your comments. Next is Alexander Hoey.
One moment to pause for a second. Okay, I'm ready. Historically, buskers have been a staple of Balboa Park for hundreds of years, or over 100 years. I am Alex Hoy. I'm a character artist at Balboa Park, and I do the weekdays while my girlfriend does the weekends. We have witnessed rangers enforce rules and regulations that are inconsistent and change day by day, and it has become clear that it is confrontations based on opinion and on established regulations or rules. Buskers have been harassed despite how many comply and ask reasonable questions, only to be threatened with citations in an attempt to silence us. Rangers are there to make us feel safe at the end of the day. There is a viral video that's on Reddit that you could probably even view yourself right now, of intoxicated skateboarders that went and harassed a busker, even to the point where they chased a woman and even tackled her husband. And when witnesses that were there saw this all happen, even at the very end, the guy pulled down her tent. It was horrible. Witnesses saw a ranger on site that did nothing, didn't do anything to de-escalate the situation, and a lot of people feel very unsafe from the public and from other buskers, and if that is something to be expected, then we need to do better. We need to team up to figure out something because this is a problem all around. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Aubriana Saram Robinson.
Hello. My name is Aubriana Robinson, as you just said, and I'm also an artist. I started in November of 2020, which compared to a few other people is very new. But in the beginning of 2020, obviously, quarantine, there was a lot of rules that were kind of pushed under the rug. That's nothing against you guys. It's just what happened. I don't know what happens behind closed doors, so I can't say so much about like my opinion of what I think should be done or what should have been done. It's all just in the past. However, you guys have all been like a witness and have all noticed how crazy things have been with the vendors and with everybody at like the beach, at the park, everywhere. I think this year is when things finally started getting a little bit better. Now at the park, it's just artists, musicians, and like show acts that can do anything at the park, which is really nice. Not that many people around, but then now we lost our spot, and now it's, now we have to move. The rules keep changing, and it's fine to change the rules every day to kind of like test it out and see what works, but it's not fine to like give citations that very day for something that was made that very day. And it's kind of hard to show up and be like, what's going to happen today? And am I going to fight for the citation, or am I just going to have to pay the $600? So it's a little annoying, and it's very embarrassing. And we used to have a raffle. At least when I started in 2020, there was a raffle where every artist showed up, and you were given a spot, and you were given rules to follow, and now we have nothing. And I feel like it would be easier for those in charge, or even for the rangers, if there was something written down, not even just for us, but just for them. So I'm bringing awareness. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Paula.
Good afternoon. I've been busking as a face painter for 15 years in Balboa Park. Us buskers, we attract the visitors and locals to our park, which is good for the economy of the park and the museums as well, and as well to us buskers. I go out there to entertain the public, and for the last several years, the rangers are targeting us buskers and misusing their authority against us, and our First Amendment rights are being trampled on. Many of the local residents and tourists come to the park to be entertained by us, and they're making it harder and harder for us and the patrons by nitpicking, harassing, and unjustifiably writing citations to us buskers, which I understand do not even hold up in court. Just last weekend, I had set up my booth, and it was well away from the sidewalk and ramp, and Z came over to me, and my sign was like 2 inches over a line in the sidewalk, and he asked me to move it. I was painting a face at the time, and I told him I would move it. He says, when you're done with this customer. I said, okay. And then he said it again, and I said, I will move this when I'm done. And he goes, I'm going to write you up a citation. So he's standing there writing up the citation, and I asked my customer's mother, would you go to court with me as a witness, because you're witnessing this whole thing? And she said yes. And at the end, when the mother and child left, I turned to Z and I said, well, I apologize. And he says, well, I'm not going to write you up a citation today. After he wrote it all up, I'm not going to give it to you today. I'll let you off with a warning. But I'm pretty sure it was because I asked the woman to go to court with me. I'm assuming that, but that is the kind of harassment we're getting, and I know that other buskers out there are getting it worse than I am. So yes, we do need to address these problems, because
Thank you
there
for
are
that
problems right
concluding
now.
statement. Just for those online, the council president had announced that all online non-agenda public comment would be trailed to the end of today's meeting. Next in chambers is Jesse Mock. After that, we have Eric Goodwin and then Melganis. Please proceed.
Hello. I don't have the gift of gab as they do, so I will read. I am a magician who has been performing in Balboa Park for the last year. I have shared my performance that bring laughter and joy to those who gather in the park. If you haven't watched me yet, you should get out more. As of lately, I am disheartened by receiving 2 citations for using a modest amplifier. Because I have a quiet voice, it is essential for me to ensure my performance reaches the audience. These tickets deviate from the true intent of the laws regarding amplification. Balboa Park should be a haven for artists where they can flourish, and performers with quiet voices like mine can harmonize with the beautiful tapestry of the sanctuary. The Rangers also convinced all the religious people to set up in the only spot large enough to do shows without a citation for obstruction of walkways or fire lanes. Most performers have left, and I hesitate to return. A child recently approached me after a show exclaiming, "This is the best day of my life." It is for these moments of pure joy and wonder that I continue to return. However, these restrictions imposing are hindering my ability to create such magical experiences. I urge you to recognize the significance of performance art in this cultural park. Let us restore the balance between artistic expression and regulations, ensuring that Balboa Park remains a beacon of artistic freedom and joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Eric Goodwin.
Hello, my name is Eric Goodwin. I'm a caricature artist as well. I've been drawing funny portraits of people's faces at Balboa Park for over 13 years. Over the years, there have been many instances of harassment of artists and performers by the Rangers, and we're often treated like criminals because of frequently changing rules that ignore our First Amendment rights and our place in the park, as evidenced throughout the history of the park. However, recently has become worse than ever. Rangers have been giving out citations not for valid crimes, but as a way of harassing, bullying, and intimidating us so that we stop showing up, which is clearly their goal. A few days ago, a ranger gave a homeless man a citation for drawing with sidewalk chalk at the park. Sidewalk chalk, which is easily washed away with water. I recorded a video of this happening. Z was the ranger giving the citation. I asked the homeless man what he was being charged with. The ranger immediately told me to take a few steps back and said he would give me a citation too for disorderly conduct because of interfering with the citation if I said anything more. I've been given a citation. I've been threatened with many more tickets and citations because of rules that are unpredictable and ever-changing of where and how we're allowed to set up at the park. Rangers use selective enforcement to retaliate against me and others who even question what rules or laws we're breaking or where we can find those rules in writing or on a map. For example, one day I'm told I can't set up in Site A or I'll be given a citation. I have to move to Site B. A couple weekends later in Site B, I'm given a citation for that same spot by the same ranger. Meanwhile, other people are allowed to set up in both of those spots and they're not given citations. So clearly, Z is targeting in on people that question his authority, that question what rules are there. We're often asking, where can we see these rules? Are they written anywhere? Not yet. Where's the map of exactly where we can set up? Well, we're working on it. We've been told that for months. So with rules changing every day and every ranger says something different, it's just a very unpredictable place to be, and we always feel like anytime a ranger comes over, they might be giving us a citation for something else, for nothing that's actually illegal or criminal that we're doing, but simply just for being there and doing our thing, like the
Your
park
time
has
has
always been a
concluded.
haven for.
Thank you for that concluding remark. Melganis.
Hello. I got to see you guys for the first time 2 weeks ago, so it's nice to see you again. Things are getting worse, and as I've heard several of my colleagues describe, Ranger Z has been a challenge for many of us. So after talking with you guys last time, one of the groups I work with is Wikipedia. We have a booth that we set up a week later, or 2 weeks ago, and it was considered not free speech. The leading organization in the free knowledge movement. We were told by Ranger Z that we had to pack it up. There was no option for discussion. And the enforcement of rules coming from this one particular ranger. So one of the things I've been seeing as a newbie, I've only been busking with the Balboa Park crowd for the last few months, is this bullying, the power, the positional power of it. My background is in psychology. Before the pandemic started, I was a professor at University of San Diego. Now I'm trying to teach on the streets, and it's really difficult to know when, how to be part of a community where a week ago, the city creative city event launching of the focus of the arts and culture at the same time that we're being shut down, it's really confusing. So wanting to see what we can do, setting up a meeting and having a discussion where we're treated as colleagues instead of as little people who can just be pushed back and forth over and over again. Thank you.
Thank you. That does conclude non-agenda public comment here in chambers. All non-agenda public comment virtually will be taken at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. All right, with that, we will adjourn for the afternoon, for the noon recess, and we will reconvene for open session at 2 p.m. Thank you.